Kids are like mini scientists, right? They're curious, they love to explore and experiment. Yet for many youth, particularly from marginalized communities and underrepresented, with different abilities rather, they don't see themselves represented as scientists and therefore think, I cannot be one. Decades of research shows that kids, even in kindergarten, default to drawing men as scientists. And this stereotype of who belongs in STEM continues into adulthood. In fact, a recent poll in Canada, where I'm from, found 52% of Canadians can't name a single female scientist. Now, from an early age, we also exclusively learn about the science that goes right, groundbreaking discoveries, and that science is reserved for these elite Einstein geniuses tucked away in an ivory tower, not the person sitting beside you on the bus. This is daunting to engage with as a kid, even as an adult. Today, 44% of Canadians find scientists to be elitists, people they cannot connect to. But it's not all bad news, I promise. An overwhelming majority of Canadians, 88%, want to engage with STEM and they want to learn more. So how do we foster an inclusive STEM environment that is humanized and belongs to everyone in our society? Because hopefully this will lead to engaged future citizens and socially conscious scientists. As I trained to be a scientist, myself and other graduate student peers from underrepresented backgrounds wanted to address this issue in our community. So we created the Broad Science Youth Radio Workshop, where youth interview diverse scientists on the radio. We work with 8 to 17-year-olds from underserved areas in Montreal, Canada, in English and French. Now, before the workshop, youth are paired with a scientist based on their expressed interests, and they're given a bio sketch to read. We work with scientists to put this together. Youth then come into our local community radio station, CKUT, for a full day, where they do in-depth researching, they create a billion questions for their scientists, and they get trained on interviewing and technical production skills in the studio. This all leads to our now mini science journalists meeting a scientist for the first time and interviewing them not only about their science, but about the person, the scientist outside the lab, and their successes, most importantly, their failures. Their interviews are then broadcasted on the radio, disseminated as a podcast for families, friends, and peers to listen to. After 2 years, over 20 scientists and almost 50 youth have participated in this program, and it is clear that these youth feel empowered to explore their own curiosity and that they're critically engaging with scientists rather than being dictated at. I loved being the one asking questions for once, one of our 10-year-olds told us. We're also documenting that their initial stereotypes are being challenged, and that for the first time, many of them are meeting scientists who look like them. They're embracing failure, and they're having fun while doing it. An unexpected outcome of this workshop has been it's created a safe space for youth to talk about their concerns and personal motivations for learning about science, fears about the environment, disorders in their family. And our scientists are also saying that engaging with these youth and training from our program has made them better communicators. So as a next step, to track the impact of this program on these scientists, our youth, and volunteers, we're tracking outcomes with researchers with funding from the Canadian government. Our main takeaways from this workshop are: 1, don't underestimate the capabilities of youth. They are capable of learning complex skills, and they are capable of having complex conversations. We need them to. And second, we can't do this in silos. We collaborate with many different organizations and youth themselves to make our program better. We also partner with local radio stations because radio is one of the most accessible and democratized forms of media. There are radio stations all over the world, and a lot of them are on university campuses where there are scientists, right? So while we're based in Montreal, this program can feasibly transcend geographical borders to bridge together many different expertise so we can create collective belonging in STEM through audio. Thank you.